Hi, my name is Teddy Longbella, and today I'm going to be demonstrating and talking to you about catching a sockeye salmon. A little bit about me first. I'm actually working in Cooper Landing, Alaska this summer at a restaurant called Gwynn's, and there I'm just a line cook, and I work about 45 hours a week. And when I have time off, you can always find me either on the river or up in some of the lakes. Um, Gwynn's is actually located right across from the Kenai River, which is one of the most famous salmon fisheries in the world. And it also is like a mile up the road from the Russian River, which is another very famous fishery. The type of fishing that goes on in the Kenai and Russian River is called combat fishing. Now, this is when the salmon are running through from the ocean, and it's basically people standing elbow to elbow, casting and trying to harvest salmon. A little background information on the sockeye salmon. It is also known as the red or the blueback salmon. The scientific name for this is, as they all are hard to pronounce, it is the Oncorhynchus nerca. The sockeye is native to the northern Pacific Ocean. It ranges from, in the United States, anywhere from California to Alaska. It is found in 10 different U.S. states. You can also find the species in Japan and Russia. The average size of the sockeye is up to 30 inches long, and it can weigh anywhere from 5 to 15 pounds. So it's a pretty big fish. It's an awesome fight. The general life cycle of the sockeye. So when the mother and the male swim upstream from the ocean, they lay their eggs, and then the eggs turn into elvin. And then elvin, in about 1 to 2 years, will turn into just a smaller sockeye. And they'll live in the freshwater for those 2 years. And then when they're big enough, they go back to the ocean, and that's where they do most of their feeding. And they usually spend about 1 to 4 years in the ocean. And when they're ready to go back and spawn, they're generally about 4 to 7 years old, and they head back upstream, and they actually go to the same spot where they were born to lay their eggs. And after that, they actually die and after the spawn, and the bear harvests all the fish. So when catching sockeye, you're going to need certain equipment. To start off, you're going to need a rod. You can either use a fly rod or a spin cast rod. I like to use a fly rod because I think it's more fun. It's a better fight. But then you're also going to need your line. If you're using fly rod, you're just going to use your regular float fly line, and then you're going to have a monofilament leader, which is going to be about 30-pound test. And then on your spin cast setup, if you're using that, you're going to have about 20-pound test on your main line, and then 30-pound test as your leader. And actually, I have my fly rod here. I'm going to show you the setup. So this is my fly rod. It's a 9-foot, 10-weight ugly stick, and this is the most common rod that's used for salmon fishing. Here's your coho fly, and then you have your weight set up about 18 inches to 2 feet above your fly, and yeah, that's basically the setup. And depending on where you are in the river, you're going to use a couple different techniques. The main one is called the Kenai flip. That's what everybody calls it. And it's basically you just get a bunch of line out, probably about 10 feet, and cast, and just flip it out to about 2 o'clock, and then let it drift down until you get to about 11 o'clock. And you just let your sinkers bounce and bounce and bounce. And actually, if you have too much weight on, if you have too many sinkers, you're going to find yourself getting caught into a lot of snags, so you want to take off weight. But if you have too little weight, your line is just going to drift through, and you're not going to be able to catch any fish. So you want to make sure you have the perfect amount of weight on, so your line just bounces and bounces. And also you can do just a regular cast if you need to get out there further. You don't see too many people doing this because it's inconvenient, and you don't get as many casts in. Now when you head out to fish, you're going to do like 5 different things. One thing is you're going to want to find out where the fish are running, how deep they are. So you figure that out, and that's how much line you're going to take out. And then the next thing is you're going to want to figure out how fast the water is running, so you put the right amount of sinkers on. And then you want to make sure you have a long enough leader, because you don't want a short leader, and it also can be considered illegal to have too short of a leader. And lastly, you just want to have a clear and relaxed state of mind when you're fishing and enjoy yourself. And if you find yourself catching sockeye, you're going to need also three things. You're going to need a stringer, a rock or a bat, a fillet knife, and then you're going to have garbage bags also to throw your fish in. But so yeah, you get the fish in and you have to knock it out, or else it's going to flop around everywhere. So you knock it out with your rock or your bat, and you throw it on the stringer, and then after you're all done fishing, you fillet it up. So yeah, it's pretty fun. It's a good time. And then there's several different ways to actually enjoy the sockeye salmon. My favorite is smoking it. Smoked salmon's good on everything. It tastes awesome. But most commonly people enjoy it just fresh, right in the oven or on the grill or whatever. And then also some people pickle and can it. But salmon fishing overall is a great hobby, and it's a fun thing to do. I've been doing it for about 2 months now. I just got up here and I feel like I have a pretty good hang of it. So yeah, it's fun, and I hope I helped you guys out, and I hope you can get out on the river and do some sockeye fishing. Thank you.